Hello everybody and welcome to the eBrokerHouse overview demo. I'm going to be covering the various parts of eBrokerHouse in brief detail. I want to encourage you to check out our other videos for further detail on each of those sections. We're going to start off with the Listings Manager. It's one of two main sections of the program. You're either representing the seller, and you can find those listings in the Listings Manager, or you can keep track of your buyers or your leads and prospects in the Buyers tab. Let's go ahead and jump into the Listings Manager. And we see these two buttons, Add Listing and Search Listings. These are pretty universal throughout the program, whether you're adding or searching listings, buyers, offers, tasks. You'll see these two buttons above each main section. So we're going to scroll down and click on one of our examples. View Edit is going to get us more information on a property. We're going to go ahead and click on this. And we'll see a few tabs. One is for the main listing information. There's links, utilities, and we're going to cover all these other tabs. Under the main tab, which we're on by default, we see basic listing information along with the address, dwelling type, transaction type, as well as the status. We can also store documents here at the bottom of the listing for your use, and we see a time and date stamp of when those were uploaded. Let's go ahead and go back up, and we see this Links tab for when we cover the offer submission system here in a few minutes. This is how we direct outside agents to go ahead and submit offers directly into your listing. And below that is the lockbox code retrieval link, or for our showing feature. Utility information. We can keep track of when the utilities were turned on and off, as well as the company that the utility is with. Any HOA information, their contact information, as well as the dues and how often they recur. Any loan information, especially helpful for those short sales. Any maintenance that needs to be done on the property, along with the date that it was completed and the contractor or vendor that completed the work. At the bottom of this, we also see an inspection log. We can put the agent that did the inspection, the date, the type of inspection, as well as any notes. And we see here in chronological order all the inspections that have been done on this property. And any notes, we can put any notes about this property, or we can use it to keep track of something on a consistent basis for each listing, in case there's something you guys are keeping track of that we might not have a field for in eBrokerHouse. You can always pull the notes through the reports, which I'll cover near the end of this demo. The conversation log is similar to the notes, except that every time we hit save on that, that'll add an entry below here, along with the time and date stamp, along with the user that added this conversation. This can be helpful for copying and pasting emails, or any phone conversations with your client, or any other important party that might be involved in this conversation. So you and your team can easily see what exactly is going on with this transaction. All right, here is the lockbox code tab. This is for our showing feature. Similar to the way we can give out a link for the offer submission system, I can give out this link for showings. And here's what it looks like for buyers agents when they click on this. They're asked to fill out their contact information, and once they hit submit, they'll see the lockbox code on the screen, as well as the box location, and if there is one entered for the property, it'll also show a gate code. And the nice part about you as the listing agent, it'll go ahead and record everyone who's accessed that lockbox code, along with their information and the time and date that they accessed that. So if there's a key missing or a price reduction, you can go ahead and let those agents know, and definitely a handy feature for you guys. This All Parties tab, will show you any party who's entered throughout the listing, whether it's an asset manager or client, a utility company, a lender or HOA company. Every contact is entered throughout this listing. And you even have this email all parties button, which will go ahead and fill in each checked box into your email client and have half that email already prepared for you. All right, last but not least is this closing tab. This is some vital information about the closing. Close date, sales price, commission amounts, etc. And also our contact information for the buyer and buyer's agent's information, title and escrow companies, and lender and home inspectors. All right, that's all the listing information. Let's go ahead and move on to tasks. And the tasking system is definitely a handy part of the system. As you can see from this legend, these first few tasks are overdue, so they're highlighted with this pink color. And again, we have these add and search buttons above this section. Let's go ahead and show you what it looks like to add a task. We can fill out the name of the task, assigned user, due date, any status, and any notes. There's also this email reminder. In case this task is due 3 weeks from now, this task is automatically going to email this user as soon as it's assigned. But like I said, in case it's one that's due in the distant future, you can go ahead and set this email reminder, and that'll send this user an email 1, 2, or 3 days before that task is due, just as a little heads up that in case they forgot about that task. You can also use the recurring settings in case you want this to recur on a monthly or weekly basis. You can go ahead and set that. There's also an option for it to only recur with a certain status. So if you only want it to recur while it's listed, you can go ahead and select that. And whenever that status changes to something different, you can go ahead and it'll automatically stop it from recurring. Let's go ahead and hide this for now. And the last one is adding a task plan. These are already task plans that we have created in our system. Most of them are just demos that we filled out. And let's go ahead and select one. Now we'll display the task plan before we actually attach it. And as you can see, there's quite a few tasks in this task plan. And as soon as we hit add to listing tasks, that'll notify each of those assigned users. And it's certainly a handy way to segment out your tasks. You're always doing the same tasks as a listing agent, and it's very handy to segment those out based on the stage of the listing. So if you want to do a task plan for active listings or ones that are freshly dropped on the market, for when they hit pending status, and then I can hit add to listing tasks, and again, all of those assigned users will be notified. All right, next is the reimbursement sections for those REO properties. We can keep track of any money that's owed to you, any money that you're needing to front. We can hit add reimbursement and quickly add a reimbursement along with the contractor or vendor that this money went to, the date we submitted to be reimbursed, when we receive that money back, and check and invoice numbers for accounting purposes. All right, let's go ahead and check out the offer submission system. I know I mentioned this earlier in the demo. Let's click on offers. And here's all the offers currently on this property. The accepted ones are highlighted green. As you can see, there's a few demos that we have in here. Usually only one would be marked as accepted. And let's check this out from the buyer's agent standpoint so you can see exactly what I mean. Let's click on this link, and we see the number of offers received, listing price, as well as the address. Certain things can be hidden from public view in the account settings. We'll click on Make an Offer. In this page, you guys as the listing agent can customize as a template this set of instructions and also this document list. So if you want to create a different template for different types of listings or different clients of yours, you can certainly do so and attach each of those templates to the corresponding properties. The agent will then click on Continue to Offer Submission Form, and this is where they fill out a summary of the offer, their contact information, offer price, all the good parts of the offer, and then they're required to upload a copy of their contract. They can't just submit these text fields and say, here's our offer. They need some documents to back this up and make it a real offer. Once they hit Submit Offer, they'll see on the next page just a little confirmation that lets them know that they did it successfully. And you, as the listing agents, also receive an email confirmation letting you know that you have a new offer to review. All right, let's close this out. And one time-saving feature that I'd like to show you is this Send Emails. This will show you any emails you have sent out through the system. I'm sorry, that's the Sent Emails. This Send Emails actually allows you to send the emails from the system. You can fill out a body of your message, a subject, any attachments, and then we can check each of the offers that we want this to go to. We can check them individually, or we can just click at the top to check all. All right, and we'll scroll to the bottom and hit click here to send emails. That'll send an individual copy of that email to each of those agents. All right, that wraps up the offer submission system and also the entire listing side. Let's go ahead and check out the buyer section. Now this will go kind of quick since it just mirrors the listing side. Most of the things are identical or very similar. Let's just click into our example here. We'll click on View Edit, and we see the information for this buyer, their contact information. We have a status, the type of buyer, whether an investor, first-time buyer, or a returning client of yours. A ranking system, cold, warm, or hot, and any property preferences. So we can put what they like for a property, price range, etc. Also any loan information in case they're pre-qualified or pre-approved with a certain lender. And we can also set an assigned user in case there's an agent in your office that's particularly handling this transaction or lead. And again, we can upload documents at the bottom, just like the listing side. We have a property log, which we can keep track of any properties that we're showing this buyer. We can put the address, MLS number, and date it is shown, and of course any notes regarding that showing. All right, and we also have a notes section for the buyers. Conversation log and all parties are just like the listing side, and so is the closing tab. The only difference here is that we're keeping track of seller and listing agent contact information as opposed to the buyer and buyer's agent information. And we also have a tasking section for the buyers. And there are also offers. We can keep track of any offers that we're submitting for your buyers. You can mark down the status as you get an update from the listing agent. You can even upload a copy of your contract. As we can see by this documents column, we see how many documents have been attached to that current offer. All right, so maybe an offer was rejected. You can go ahead and archive that at any point. All right, next I want to cover the Users tab. We can assign a user and create users in this tab. We can add a new user, but we're just going to take a look at an existing user. Now, a user can be an assistant, another agent in your office, anyone who you want to have access to your eBrokerHouse account. We can go ahead and add them here. When you upgrade to the premium version, you can add unlimited amounts of users. All right, let's click View Edit on this example user. And all we need to do when we create them is assign a first and last name, email address, and also create them a password. And then we can select the areas of the program that we want them to have access to. So we can click Admin for access to all sections, or we can select only the certain sections. Like we have listings, tasks, offers, and a few other sections selected. And then underneath each of those sections are sub-permissions. So a couple common ones I want to point out are read-only. This will allow them to only see the information and not make any changes. Underneath many sections are this restricted view option, and this will show them only what they're assigned to. So for instance, if Bill here is assigned to 5 tasks, he's only going to see those 5 tasks whenever he goes to the task section. So very handy, especially for other agents who you want to add into your system and you want to assign them leads, but you don't want them to have access to everything. You can go ahead and apply that restricted view. Like I said, it's on almost every section: offers, buyers, BPOs. All right, next I will go ahead and cover the BPO section. For agents who are doing fee BPOs, which are BPOs that you're getting paid a fee on, you can go ahead and keep track of them here. The price you're getting paid, the due date, the time it's due, any assigned user and order type, and also a photographer, which receives an email when they're assigned to this order. You can also click on View Edit to get more information, like the assessed value of that BPO. And the more information you enter, the better, as you can run reports later on and find out all that information, pull certain date ranges, and find out how much you got paid for a certain month. Those are just a couple examples, but I'll cover the reports here shortly. All right, next is the Documents section. Here we can create folders and subfolders and store documents or pictures. And you'll see these red folders. They're system-created folders, ones that are automatically created by the system when something happens. So if I add a listing into the system, it's automatically going to create a folder for that listing with its address. So if I wanted to go into that and create a pictures folder within that, I can do so very easily. And I can scroll down to manage my files and add folders. And you can also back up your folders and files from here, and that'll back that up into a nice zip file. And I'm going to cover the reports section now. This is one of the most underrated parts of the program. It's definitely one of the most powerful. You can access all the information throughout eBrokerHouse, and you can customize your reports and even download those into an Excel-friendly format. So we have different sections of reports. We're just going to pull an example for a listing report. This top portion will let us put in any between ranges. Maybe we want to find all the properties that were closed last year. We can put in those date ranges and pull those really easily. And we can pull just certain statuses, but we're going to put nothing in this top portion so it displays all of the listings in our account. We're going to sort by status, and we're going to select a few fields. You can actually select if you want to view the actives, archives only, or both actives and archives. All right, let's select days on market, listing price, status, listing date. This will get us started. Now we can name this report and save it for later in case it's one you're going to run on a regular basis or ever use again. We can just fill out a name and hit Save Settings, and that'll go ahead and save it near the top of this report section. Let's just hit Display Report and see what it looks like. So we see this example report, and it comes in this Excel looking format, and we can even click here to download to a CSV file, or we can also print this off if you like. Let's just go ahead and close this and we'll wind up back at our reports section. And there you are. That's just one example of many thousands that you could possibly run. Uh, as the manager of the account, that's certainly a handy section, and you can access all of your information. For example, if you wanted to see when the utilities were turned on and off, instead of clicking into each listing, going back to the listings manager, clicking into another listing, you can pull a report and see that all on one page. So certainly a time saver in some instances. All right, last section we'll cover is the contacts manager. Very simple here. We can keep track of any contacts, whether it's another agent, a client, any contractors. You can keep track of their information as well as the position in the company that they're with. Um, and definitely handy to keep that all within your eBrokerHouse account. All right, if we click back to the Home tab, there's one thing I do want to point out, and that's this Account Settings button. There's several things you can turn on and off and customize within your account, and I definitely encourage you guys to go ahead and check those out and see if there's anything that you'd like in there. One common thing are the delete buttons. If you want to delete anything within your account, you'll want to go into the account settings, activate the delete buttons, and then you'll see a delete option next to listings, tasks, pretty much anything you can enter throughout the program. But that's one of many options in there. So like I said, go through that and just browse and take a few minutes to do that. Well, I definitely appreciate you guys sitting here till the end of this demo. Feel free to sign up for a free account. As long as you have under 10 listings in your account, it's completely free, and you can use that for as long as you'd like. There's no time restriction on that. And if you need anything at all, don't hesitate to contact our support line, which is listed on our website, and that is 866-766-0344. Thank you guys, and have a great day.